Hey, she may just be the next best thing in Nashville right now. Uh, an amazing singer, songwriter, Lexi Sidders. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's Meet Me for Coffee. The show is about conversations, great conversations over coffee, establishing those conversations, of course, and having a great time. Um, I got my coffee mug. It says cookies for Santa on the North Pole. Um, right now, I'm drinking an espresso Stormio. Very impressed by this machine. I don't know. I got like this bunch of like I spent $170 on
It
just
better be good.
espresso stuff, and every time it's good, which is great. How do you take your coffee?
How do I take my coffee?
Yeah,
With a little bit of cream.
yeah.
I love a good sweet cream.
Are you a Starbucks girl?
I am a Starbucks girl.
Yeah.
But
What do you?
I love my Keurig though.
Yeah, I used to love Keurig. Just haven't really gone back because I broke like three of them. I just have gone
Oh
through three
my
of them.
gosh. Bad luck with Keurigs.
Yeah. Well, I had like the original one, and then I had a personal one, like it was just like a 1 cup one.
Yep.
Went through that pretty hard, and then that broke, and then I had a newer one, and then that broke, and then it's like, okay, let's go to potted coffee, let's make my own coffee, and then it's like, oh, Nespresso, okay, cool, let's do this. A bit more, bit easier when you have kids and whatever, and not a lot of coffee drinkers in the house and stuff like that. So, your music, we were talking earlier about the single "Grow" on your Spotify page. I discovered that earlier yesterday. I really enjoyed that song. Um, for our listeners and our viewers and whoever is going to get in touch with us after the show, during this podcast and whatever, go and check out her page over on Spotify. I really like the format that Spotify offers. Just they may not pay musicians properly, but a lot of people's discographies there and what their most recent releases are. And "Grow" is one of your coolest songs. It's a good collaboration. Very easy listening. I really just enjoyed it. Let's talk about that one first before we get to your newest release.
Yeah, absolutely. So Grow actually, so I went to school for music at Belmont University and um it was a final project, actually. It's really funny. And for my songwriting class. And these two girls and we've never written together at all. And we didn't really have anything in common. And so we're like, what is one thing that we can all like have common ground on? And we're like, well, we miss home. Yeah, like it's really hard being out in Nashville away from family and stuff. So we wrote Grow. And with the 3-part harmonies, it's like it's very, very cool. And I've never done anything like that before, but I'm very proud of it.
I would be too. I mean, like, it's very hard to collaborate with people in general, and being able to put your ideas together and work in a team is definitely something to be proud about. And the product is there. Like, it's so fantastic, and I listened to it many times.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Even before like I came on here to speak with you, I listened to it a few times, showed my kids, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, it's I listen to a lot of hard rock, and so I was like, oh well, this is
It's a
good.
different,
you know,
little different than hard rock.
hard rock, metal. Used to be like really, really into country.
Country's
Um,
great.
yeah, but I feel like up here in Canada, country is it came on the scene, and now it's sitting like a duck, right? So, nothing's really happening in
Right.
country, especially after the last 2 years. Um, you recently released "Better Off," uh, your newest single up in October.
Better off a loser.
Yeah, and let's talk about that. Like, "Better Off a Loser." Well, why are you better off a loser?
So yeah, you're probably wondering why did I name it Better Off a Loser? So that song was really inspired by past traumas that I've gone through, past experiences of being bullied when I was younger. And I was writing with the co-writers and I was like, I really want to write like an anthem that people can relate to. Um, maybe something like that I can really relate to because write what you know. That's like the biggest thing in songwriting, at least to me. And I'm like, I really want to write about bullying, but in a cooler way. It's not cool, but like in a way that no one has ever said it before. And I was like, what is a word that everyone can relate to? Everyone understands loser. Like we hear it everywhere. And even if people are just getting made fun of or like whatever. And so I'm like, better off a loser. I kind of like that. And so we just ran with that title. And so basically the song, it's about being out of the in crowd. That's totally fine to do. You don't necessarily have to be a part of the popular group because if that's not like how you truly are meant to be, like don't fake it. Don't fake it till you make it. Stand out and do your own thing. And I found myself getting really hard on myself about trying to fit in when in reality, I should be me.
Absolutely. I feel like we let the media brainwash us into thinking that we have to fit into every situation. And when you go to school, you feel like you have to fit in with that group. And just because like your friends may be friends with other people who are in that group and you're not. Um, yeah, bullying I was bullied earlier in my life as well. In grade one, grade two. But my sister also got bullied. This is very common, right? It's just whether you let it get to you or how bad does it get. How much does the bully get away with? And for some people, it really gets to them. And there's got to be a way to help them. And there are people like you who write songs, and hopefully someone hears that and knows what that next step is, or knows what how to help themselves or where to go. So that's pretty cool. Um, Amy Winehouse, Lady Gaga, some of your influences.
Yep.
Um, but your vocal coach, I really am intrigued with this because Gary Katona is the vocal coach for Andrea Bocelli, Steven Tyler, Tony Braxton. Are you still taking coaching from him?
Every now and then, yes.
Okay. How'd you find him?
Through a friend.
That's pretty cool.
He's so sweet. I absolutely couldn't believe it when I saw his bio. Like, I've heard of him before, and when this friend introduced us, I was like, "There's no way. There's no way at all that he's gonna give me a vocal lesson." And we did, and he's amazing.
They're in person, right?
They're on Zoom because Gary's in LA.
Okay. And so your first lesson with him, what was something that you remember him doing or saying to you, or what exercise did you guys do?
Um, what exercises did we do the first time? It was really just going up and down the scale and kind of figuring out where I was range wise. But he said to me, and I'll never forget this, he's like, "Oh, Whitney Houston, watch out." And so I'm like, okay, that's a pretty big compliment. I'm liking this.
I think the digital world is, it's so cool because you can connect with anybody. I can connect with you through other people,
Right.
vocal coaches, and it's humbling to know that the professionals that are on stage, they also get help as well. They also get coaching as well. So um, you're not the only one, right? So it feels great to maybe get coached by someone who taught Janet Jackson how to dance or something like that, right? Or
Absolutely.
um, obviously, I don't know if anyone actually taught her how to dance besides her father or whatever, but just an example. So it's always good as a musician, even as a broadcaster, or anyone who's trying to pursue something in their life, to always look for help. I mean, it's not really necessarily help; it's improving your skills and getting it like an outside opinion, and maybe your vocal coach can see something in you that maybe you need to change, or he can tell you how you should sing, or maybe help you, especially in the metal rock world, uh, sing without throwing out your throat,
Right. Because
right?
that's
So
common.
yeah, you're supposed to sing from the diaphragm. I learned that.
Mhm.
Very cool. But it's a very cool thing. Music is right. The last 2 years have been very hard. I believe I read earlier that you were taking a bit of a break to focus on health. Is that
Yes. Yes. So, a while ago, not a while ago, a few years ago, I was constantly playing and writing and music while also going to college. And through my bullying throughout the years, I developed a really bad eating disorder and I needed help so bad. And so I took a break from what I loved to do, singing and writing, and I moved home and got the help I needed. But honestly, without that time to myself to focus on me, I wouldn't I don't think I'd be here today. I wouldn't be as strong as I am. I probably wouldn't be an artist or writing music if that didn't happen because I became so much stronger from that. So it's very important to focus on your health when you're going through it.
do you remember writing your first song?
Um, Writing my first song? Yes, I do remember writing my first song. I was like 12, I think.
12. And what was the feeling of writing your first song?
Um, I was very nervous to write my first song, because it was a co-write with one of these songwriters that I looked up to for a very long time. And I was just a 12-year-old girl, like shy and nervous. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able like to give good input on the songs. Like, what if he thinks that I'm not good at writing? But after talking about stories and figuring out what we're going to write about, everything came together and the anxiety kind of went away. But it's always a little nerve wracking when you're co writing with other people.
How does that collaboration work when you co-write with someone? Like you just show up with an idea, or you guys just come up with the idea yourselves, and then you guys shape it together? Or
So, the best way I will explain a co write to somebody, it's like a therapy session. And sometimes you do coffee, sometimes you do wine. I mean, however crazy the story is, like have the wine or coffee, whatever. But um it's like a therapy session. You just get out all your feelings, talk about what's going on in your life. If nothing's going on, you just go through ideas and see if you click on anything and then start writing. And that could take a day or 2 days or however long.
that's pretty cool. I know a few people who co-write um up in Nashville as well. And some people they just got it, right? They could just make a song up right on the spot.
Yep.
Others, I guess you really have to be like that, right? I mean, to be able to just sing and just do something, right? Or have some come out of your mouth or play some with your hands, regardless of what instrument you play, whether it's a triangle or the guitar or
Right.
the bass or something like that. Uh, can you describe living in Nashville and having to be quick on your toes when it comes to those situations?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first moved to Nashville, I was very intimidated, as one would be, being a 22, 21-year-old artist, um, that nobody knew. But after getting to meet a few peo the hardest thing for me was putting myself out there, but after doing that, I met a lot of people, and I got a very cool internship that worked with a lot of songwriters, and I got to make connections with them. Um, but it took about, like, a good year for me to be comfortable in Nashville saying like, "Oh, I have co-writers that I can work with. I, like, got my groove. I have all these songs I wanna release," you know? So it took a little bit, but I'm comfortable now.
I mean, everybody's there to do the same thing, right? So
Yeah.
you guys are against each other and trying to bury each other. It's really detrimental to the whole scene or uh,
Oh,
how everything works. So what's in the works for you as we're talking about how things, function in
yeah.
Nashville and then in your career going forward in the next 2023?
Yep. A lot of collabs, I will say. I'm working on 2 right now. I just wrote a song with my friends Caroline Darling and Luke Bryan, not the Luke Bryan, but his name is Luke Bryan. Um, and I'm very excited for that. I have an upcoming concert in Cabo actually this next week, so I'm looking forward to that as
Like
well.
Cabo, like Mexico?
Like Mexico.
What?
Yeah,
That's so fun.
I know, I'm so excited.
There's no air conditioning at these places, though, just so you know.
I'm gonna bring a little fan.
Yeah, that's you got to. You got so we're around the Christmas season, actually, where the countdown is officially on.
Okay, yes, it is.
How do you celebrate, and, what are some Christmas traditions for you?
So my dad is Catholic, so we do Christmas. My mom is Jewish, so we do a Chrismica. So every year we go home, which is in California, but this year I'll be in Nashville. Well, I'll be in Mexico and then Nashville. Um, but a Christmas tradition, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Well, you're gonna have to think of one eventually when this is the first time someone's asking you, but, sometimes those traditions are kinda, like you just explained, going home and being with your mom and your dad,
Yeah,
Chris Nicole, right?
yeah,
And
Chris.
that's a tradition, like,
Yeah,
being together.
that's a tradition for sure. I have a twin brother and he lives in New York and he'll
Yeah,
usually come in to California and I'll meet him there and we celebrate with my whole family.
and your dad plays guitar too, right?
My dad, he thinks he plays guitar.
Yeah? Okay, well, I was saying maybe you have a jam session or something like that.
Yep, yep. He
That's
tries
cool.
to sing. He says I got my voice from him, but we will never know.
You never know, maybe he had that singing voice when you were a baby, right? Maybe
Maybe.
you took it from him. That's
Exactly.
oh, ooh, I wish I could say my son got his personality from me, but actually, probably he got everything from me, right? So, does the exact same mannerisms as me and everything, it's crazy, right? So,
Oh, how
um,
old is he?
he'll be 3 in February, and,
Oh,
so it's kind of cool because the Christmas thing is I was really kinda not into it the last, like, 5 years or whatever, and then, with, like, whatever happened the last couple, 3 years, no, this is the actual first Christmas that he knows what's going on. So, it's very, very exciting, right?
oh,
It's exciting in the fact that he knows who Santa Claus is. He knows, even though, like, we know who he is, like, not really, but,
yeah.
when we're watching, like, Frosty the Snowman and the Grinch and, like,
Yeah.
so it's really inspiring, and it makes me feel happy, and it's a good time of season, whether you're Christica sounds like a pretty cool holiday,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
you should, trademark that one.
Oh, yeah. We have a little Jewish star on the tree,
Yeah,
so, 50-50.
or like menorah at the top.
Yeah, we should do that.
Just don't burn the house down after, right?
Right? Yeah.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and, there's so many things, that we could talk about, but what's one thing that you want for Christmas this year?
One thing that I want for Christmas.
It can be anything. It can be like, like I had a guest on earlier last week, and I'm like, just don't say world peace because everybody says that.
I was gonna say that, so thank God I didn't.
Okay.
Well, I just kinda did say that, but
Yeah. Well, the last person who made a song about world peace, he got shot in his hotel room. You realize that?
okay, we're not talking about world peace. I would like hmm, how about good health?
It all comes down to health, right?
Yeah,
Are you really into health?
I am into health.
You get up and work out every day and stuff like that?
I do. I try to when I have the time, yes.
You do yoga?
Toner.
Yoga too, right?
Yoga too, kinda, but more like cycling, Peloton. Love all of it though.
Yeah, I tried doing the Bowflex for a bit and was like, "This is, like, freaking boring." Like,
Yeah.
the Peloton seems kinda cool, right, with the screen, and it's always like
Oh,
somebody's always there with you. It's connected to a live thing, right?
yep.
It's
And then
very
they have the
interesting.
on-demand classes, so they have, like, on the floor classes, on the bike, treadmill, so it's not just all the bike.
Yeah, and they have, there's another one called, Tonal or something like that, where it's like a mirror on the wall.
Yeah, I just saw that. I just saw an ad for that.
Yeah, like, I saw, like, up here we have, like, commercials airing, like, 5 years past, like, when they actually aired, 'cause it's Canada, and so some of us have, like, these contraband IPTV boxes where we watch American channels,
Oh my god.
and, so, like, there's a LeBron James working out with it or whatever, the tonal thing on the
Yep,
walls, like, how much is this stupid thing, right? It was, like,
I don't it's
12,000 bucks or something, right?
it's insane.
But, yeah, mental health, working out, feeling good, even, like, to the foods that you actually eat and the amount of time you spend on your phone actually it contributes to your mental health,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like, I find sometimes, like, I wanna be, like, on my phone, but I've also had times where I just stay away from it, and I like the fact that nobody can bother me, I like the fact that, I don't have to look and watch videos. It's all I do now, just watch videos, and it's
I think that's what everybody does now.
yeah, yeah, and I've realized a lot that, there's people who are apparently super famous on the gram that have, like, 1 to 2 million followers or a lot of that stuff is like a lot of fake recognition and there's a lot of fake when you look at people making announcements on Twitter or like Instagram or Facebook. If you look at the comments, like a lot of these people are not even actual people, right? So
Oh,
it's like
they're robots, yeah,
this very superficial society, and
I know.
definitely a great way to get in touch with yourself is to uh, get into good mental state would be working out, doing yoga, or doing eating healthier, right? Like just do something for yourself. And a lot of people they worry about others before they worry about themselves, but it's much more beneficial for your kids if you worry about yourself and take care of yourself so you can take care of them in the best state of mind. So it goes a long way, and I'm very, very glad that we could have this conversation and you can hear me ramble about this stuff because it all matters, right? It's
It does, it all goes hand in hand, absolutely, and music is good for the soul too.
absolutely, I have a few friends that I'd like to get together with again. We used to play in the band, and it's like every time we get together and play some music, it just feels so good to be up on stage.
Yeah,
And it's just so cool. It's a good feeling. It's a dopamine and adrenaline or whatever you want to call it. And um
all the good stuff.
yeah, yeah, it's all fantastic. And I do wish you all the best, Lexi.
Thank
Um,
you.
You can check her out on Instagram, and, you have a website as well, right?
I have a yes, I have a landing page, a link tree that has all of my links to Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all of the good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. We
Thank
enjoyed
you.
coffee with Lexi Sidders, uh, great
Cheers.
musician with the L. I don't know
With the L, of course.
for Lexi, obviously, not,
Yes.
better
Or
off loser, like,
loser, or loser, yeah.
every time you see an L, you don't really, but I really appreciate you. Thank you for being on the show. Merry Christmas to you and
Thank
to your family and to everyone listening. Hopefully, we can sneak another couple shows in, maybe rattle the chains of Brandon Boyd of Incubus once more and see if he'll come on once again to talk about his mushroom cults and Santa Claus. Very interesting conversation. Been trying to rectify that with him all year, but he said he'll elaborate some other time after doing some more research. He caught me off guard, Lexi. I swear to God.
Oh my gosh, that sounds interesting.
You'll have to go back and
I need
and
to. It
do
sounds
that.
like it.
Um, it was one of the best moments on the show.
I believe it.
Yeah, just threw me off guard. It's like, what are you doing for Christmas? And I asked him about Santa Claus. Like, it's all like because he's not. Um, he'll look at you straight, but like he also like sits there and like he talks right like this. Like he doesn't look all the time. Then he starts talking about mushroom cults and he's very
It's like, "What? How do we get to that?"
yeah. Like I I hope he comes back on because there's so much more. I feel like we became friends. I feel this is like a, a Joe Rogan moment on this show, right?
I was gonna say, this
Yeah.
sounds very Joe Rogan.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully that does happen again. But again, I wish you all well. Thank you so much. This is Meet Me for Coffee, and we'll be back very soon.